Break it apart. Nice and soft. Look at that. Today I'm going to show you how to make pumpkin cookies. Oh yeah. Begin by preheating the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 176 Celsius. I have 1 2/3 cup of all-purpose flour or plain flour. I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of ground nutmeg. Also, you can add 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves if you have it and you want to. Come in here with a whisk and let's just whisk these together. Set that aside for now. All right, now in a large bowl, take 1/3 cup of softened room temperature butter, 1/2 cup of white granulated sugar, and 1/2 cup of packed brown sugar, or you could just use a full cup of white sugar if you want. We will add 1 large egg and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Give that a mix. All right, and then just give the sides of the bowl a good scrape. And now we will add in 2/3 of a cup of canned pumpkin, and we'll just mix that in. Just until barely combined. We don't want to over mix it. And now let's add in that dry mixture. I'm going to do about 1/3 of it at a time. I'm going to scrape the sides and then add in the rest of this flour. Alright, so just until combined like this, scrape the sides and mix in the rest of that flour. And now it's ready to go. And then take an ungreased baking tray or cookie sheet. And I just take 2 spoons, or you can use like one of those mini scoops, mini ice cream scoops. And then I'll take some cookie dough and just put it right there on top, just like that. Now we want to flatten them out a little bit, and I just took a bowl and sprayed the bottom of it with some cooking spray, and then you can just flatten it out a little bit. And now we will bake them in the oven, again 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 176 Celsius. We'll bake them for 15 to 20 minutes until they're nice and golden brown. And when they come out of the oven, they will look something like this. They'll be golden brown around the edges and on the tops. And then you just let it sit on the pan for about 5 minutes, and then we will remove them from the pan and put it on a wire rack to cool completely. Now the cookies are done, but you can make an optional glaze to drizzle on top that a lot of people like to do. And to make that glaze, we have about a tablespoon of melted butter. You can do a little bit less. A 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then we are going to add about a cup, a little more than a cup of powdered sugar. This doesn't have to be exact by any means. And now what we're going to do is we'll start, this is about a 1/4 cup of milk, but we're only going to add about a tablespoon of it at first. And we'll start to mix this glaze up. Add just a little more. Okay, this right here is like a frosting, this consistency, and you could use it like that, or we can just thin it out a little bit more. Winds up being around 2 full tablespoons, somewhere around there. Again, it just depends on how thick you want to make the glaze and how much you want it to cover the cookies. But about like that is good. See how it drizzles like that, but it's still thick? And then we'll just take the glaze and you just drizzle it on the cookie. And if you want a little more control on how the designs look, just put it the glaze in a little Ziploc bag. Totally up to you how you do it. And then once you have the glaze on all of them, then just let them sit for about 5 minutes until the glaze dries and they'll be ready to go. I'm going to pick one up and show you what it looks like on the inside. Break it apart. Nice and soft. Look at that. Really nice. Take care. Time for me to dive into one of these. Oh yeah. I'll grab this one right here.